He was a top actor in the silent film era, and his shocking arrest and trial after the death of a young actress produced one of early Hollywood's first big scandals. Here we briefly profile the career and criminal prosecution of Roscoe "Fatty" Arbuckle. At the time of his arrest in September 1921, Arbuckle was Paramount Studios' top star and arguably the number 2 actor in Hollywood, second only to Charlie Chaplin. He was one of the first to enjoy what we expect of entertainment stars of today: mansions, servants, divorces, multiple expensive cars, and drugs. But what was the event that brought him down? Over the 1921 Labor Day weekend, Arbuckle and some friends rented a suite of rooms on the top floor of San Francisco's finest hotel. They threw a party and invited some movie people, including a young actress named Virginia Rappe. Arbuckle and Rappe were alone in a room briefly. When others entered the room, they found actress Rappe on the bed, ill and in great discomfort. She was fully clothed. A doctor summoned by the hotel management examined Rappe and determined she had had too much to drink and needed sleep. 4 days later, Rappe died. A sensationalist press all but convicted Arbuckle in their newspapers before the trial, with headlines such as "Arbuckle the Beast" and "Arbuckle may hang for murder." His movies were pulled from theaters, sometimes voluntarily by theater operators or movie studios, and at other times as a result of local censorship boards or pressure groups, such as women's clubs. Organized women's groups flexed their muscle in the battle for prohibition just months earlier. After a grand jury met to consider whether he should be tried, Fatty Arbuckle was charged with manslaughter. An autopsy had concluded that the cause of death was a ruptured bladder. During trial, a doctor stated he had treated Rappe for a chronic condition, cystitis, or bladder inflammation. Further expert testimony stated that cystitis renders a patient more prone to a bladder rupture. The case hinged on whether Arbuckle, by some violent action, caused that rupture. His defense argued that trauma from such actions as vomiting could cause a ruptured bladder, and witnesses said Rappe vomited during the party. In addition, there was no evidence of violent or sexual assault. No one heard Rappe cry for help, and she said before she died that she could not remember what happened. The prosecution did little to contradict Arbuckle's witness stand assertion that he found Rappe in the bathroom, and after she vomited, he picked her up and placed her on the bed, which is where she was found when her friend entered the room. The first 2 attempts at trying Arbuckle ended in a hung jury. The third trial ended in acquittal after the jury deliberated for only 5 minutes. Arbuckle was ready for an industry comeback, but it was not in the cards. The studios had recently hired Will Hayes to head the Motion Picture Producers and Distributors of America. This new association allowed the studios to self-regulate their content in hopes of forestalling censorship by the government. In his first official act, Hayes effectively banned Arbuckle from appearing on screen, only to reverse himself and reinstate Arbuckle 8 months later, allowing the movie-going public to decide Arbuckle's box office fate. Over the next 10 years, Arbuckle performed on stage, returning to his vaudeville roots, and directed films, but did not star in a film until 1932. He then staged a mini comeback and starred in 6 comedy short films, the kind which were shown prior to the marquee feature. Things were looking good for the middle-aged actor in early 1933. He went out with his wife in Manhattan to celebrate their wedding anniversary, but after coming home earlier than planned, he died in his sleep of a heart attack, age 46. Through the years, books written about the Arbuckle case range from lurid tales of Fatty's horrific violence against Virginia Rappe to complete exoneration. One exceptionally vulgar account featured in Hollywood Babylon, written by Kenneth Anger, who was influenced by the writing of occultist Aleister Crowley. 3 actors, John Belushi, John Candy, and Chris Farley, got close to portraying Arbuckle in a movie. Each died before the project got off the ground, igniting rumors of a Fatty Arbuckle curse. With his standout comedy film career forever tarnished by one of the original Hollywood scandals, the story of Fatty Arbuckle is one for the ages.